Enjoy. Hi everybody. Cabbage soup today. It's Sunday, it's raining. Why not soup again? We're going to be making a traditional Polish soup. Cabbage and potatoes and carrots. But we'll be putting a little different spin on it with the flavors that we use. And those flavors will be garlic, red and green peppers, some extra celery. And at the very end, I'll be putting in some red tomatoes and some tomatillos. If you haven't used these, this is a very interesting flavor. It's kind of like a lemony tomato, and I want it to stay intact, so we're saving it till the very end where it could just combine with the hot soup and add its flavor to the whole mixture. Now, the spices, 2 bay leaves, lots of thyme. I have cloves that I'll be adding, and allspice. So I have about 3 cloves here. I have small 7 little allspice balls, a small bit of black pepper, and I'm going to be putting that into my tea ball, just because I don't want to have to worry about all of the peppercorns and all of the sharp things getting caught up in somebody's mouth. You don't want to create a choking hazard. So I'm going to put all of these things into my tea bowl, and when we start to make the soup, I'll show you how I put this into the infusion. See, it's got a big top. I'm sure you could use a smaller one. I don't have a smaller one. I've tied some string around it, and I'll be attaching that to the lid. So let's get started. As always, we'll turn on the stove, put some olive oil in to the pot, and wait till it just gets hot. I'll be adding the onion and the celery and carrots just until they soften. Now the onions, carrots, and celery have cooked for about 5 minutes. I'm going to add a generous pinch of salt, and I'm going to add the garlic and the cabbage. You can see and hear the robust cooking, right? It's sizzling away. See the cabbage that I've cut? It's about 1 inch by 3/4 of an inch pieces. And it's going to cook down in this pot. It's going to be a very full vegetable soup. We have, traditionally, this soup is potatoes and cabbage with other flavorings in a broth. We're going to prepare the potatoes a little differently though. I'm not a fan of the potatoes being boiled in the soup. So I'm going to slice these lengthwise. I'm going to put some olive oil on the meat side and then cook them skin side up. I'm going to bake them in the oven for about a ½ hour so that the flesh of the potato becomes brown. Boy, I wish you could smell this. Absolutely not cabbagey at all. The onion and garlic sort of cut through that cabbage smell. I'm going to saute this just until the cabbage starts to turn bright green. I'll be adding 1 quart of Kirkland stock, and I will be adding a quart of water as well. I'm also going to be adding a can of diced tomatoes. to give that a toss. I'm going to add the herbs now. Remember, I put all of the sharp things, the cloves, the peppercorns, allspice, and 2 bay leaves are in here, as well as a generous handful of thyme. I'm going to set this on and tie it onto the handle of the pot. And that's really all there is to it. I'm going to cook this for about an hour. Be careful not to let the tie-on string get caught in the flames. That's really all there is to it. Lower the heat, come back in an hour. While we're waiting for the soup to get done, let's prepare the potatoes. I'm going to cut them lengthwise in half. Try to make the sides as even as you can so that they cook evenly. And I'm going to put some olive oil down on the pan. Olive oil. Any kind of olive oil that you have will do. I'm going to put these face down after I put some salt and pepper on them. So I find that if you use the potato to oil the pan, it makes the job that much easier, right? A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt on each one. Now, turn these skin side up and bake them in 350 or 375 oven for about 45 minutes. Well, the soup has been simmering for 45 minutes. It smells incredible. I'm going to add the tomatillos and the tomatoes and let the juice from the tomatoes and the tomatillos come out and add to the soup. I have, I think, 4 tomatoes and 3 tomatillos. Move the spice bell. Boy, you could smell all of these wonderful things. Well worth it. There we go. And while the soup was simmering, the potatoes baked for 45 minutes, and they have exactly the right color and texture that I want. So I'm going to give the soup another stir, put the cover on, and wait about 20 minutes for all of the flavors to come together. Now here it is. It's been 20 minutes since I added the tomatillos and the tomatoes, and just look at the wonderful, colorful soup. We're going to plate it. How gorgeous this is. The cabbage has let off all of its liquid. The carrots are still bright. The tomatoes and tomatillos and diced tomatoes that we've added are still crisp. The red and green bell peppers are also crisp. Now, I sliced one of the potatoes into small dice. And I'm going to put them on top as if they were croutons. So just take a look at this. Holy cow, what a fabulous meal.